On Saturday night, Congress President Sonia Gandhi's son-in-law, Robert Vadra, was at a plush hotel in Delhi attending the launch of modern fitness equipment for high-end gyms. But when faced with questions on the DLF land deal, Robert Vadra left completely stumped, and so angered was he by that question that he shoved the reporter's microphone aside and aggressively asked him 4 times, "Are you serious? See for yourself exactly what happened."
What would you like to comment on this last interview?
Where health is concerned, I'm always promoting it for my friends, and they have the best machines today, and it's a very promising place, and health is everything, so I would definitely recommend for most people to be here and partake and understand the machines. They're internationally recognized, and it's very good if you run, or it has less effect on your muscles, in your bones and everything. So it's overall it's definitely a new promising place. I don't think we see these machines anywhere else in Delhi.
Sir, how would you comment on Haryana government touching to investigate all the land deals?
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Because these questions are being asked for many times.
Idiot, it's a mistake.
Sir, these questions are being asked repeatedly.
Put your camera off. Are you nuts? Yes. What's wrong with you?
Sir, these are legal questions.
And you're the right person to answer to. ये वहाँ से delete कराइए. Delete कराओ.
Are you serious? Are you nuts? You're an idiot. That's the kind of language a reporter must face only for asking a pertinent, relevant question. The reporter was from ANI, and its editor, Smita Prakash, is now live with us. Also with us is Satyapal Jain of the BJP and Sanjay Jha of the Congress. As a citizen, Sanjay Jha, will you condemn what happened yesterday night at the Ashoka Hotel? Do you think it's entirely condemnable, the kind of behavior, the kind of language that was on display?
Padmaja, they say a camera doesn't lie, and I'm glad at least Times Now has had the decency to play out a little extended tape than what was being sensationalized yesterday. If you hear the question, the first question asked to Mr. Robert Vadra is about the event for which he is there last evening. Now, you know that he was there as a private citizen for a private event, and this is a totally private matter. The ANI, and I go on ANI quite often, I can tell you that, cannot afford to be a paparazzi. You cannot go to
Sanjay, why is it paparazzi behavior? What? We're supposed to ask only scripted questions.
Padmaja,
so you're called for a fitness equipment event, you'll ask only fitness equipment related questions. Smita, would you want to respond to that?
Well, Padmaja, I haven't finished. If you're asking if Mr. Modi is talking about black money, will you ask him at that point about his role in the Gujarat massacre of 2002? I mean, you also know, Padmaja, you as a serious television journalist, there are certain occasions that demand certain answers. I'm not even getting into the allegations against Mr. Vadra because they have been dismissed by the several courts of India, including the Supreme Court. But is Times Now and all other channels today encouraging a paparazzi culture?
Why is it paparazzi culture?
It is.
How is it paparazzi culture?
No, 1 minute. How
there
can
is
you
a
go?
legal case.
Have you
the
heard
government
that
has said we'll investigate it. The journalist simply says, do you have to respond?
Can I finish?
The Haryana government has said we are going to investigate it. Smita, I think it's only fair you
one point, when he was asked a question about the gym,
to this paparazzi allegation that you made, Sanjay.
He gave a very forthright answer. But when the question was changed dramatically to surprise him, he had every right to feel upset about it. I think it's about time you guys woke up to a reality that Times Now cannot be propagating a paparazzi culture in India.
Vadra all of a sudden?
Yeah, this is quite bizarre what Mr. Jha is saying, that this is paparazzi. And in fact, one of the defenses was that look what happened to Princess Diana. Firstly, Mr. Vadra is not a prince and we are not paparazzi. Absolutely accredited journalist with the Press Information Bureau. And nobody limits anybody to any questions in this country. We are in a free country, free media. I don't know which country Mr. Jha lives in. Now, as far as the limiting questions is concerned, whether it's Mr. Mr. Modi or whether it is Dr. Manmohan Singh, nobody has told us that you cannot ask questions relating to any riots. Dr. Manmohan Singh has answered question on 84 riots and his silence, and Mr. Modi has answered question on Gujarat riots and Swachh Bharat. No reporter till today has been told, even by a Prime Minister of this country, that you cannot ask me this question. So I can't for the life of me understand how Mr. Jha says that you cannot, you can only ask certain questions. And also the defense that Mr. Vadra puts up about a private reporter of this event. There is nothing called private reporter in this country. I don't understand what a private reporter means.
Exactly. Were you expecting them to act like a private reporter, Sanjay Jha, that you come, ask me a scripted question, I will wax eloquent about the fitness equipment, and then you'll have to go your way, and the moment an inconvenient question comes around, you're an idiot just for asking that question?
Well, since Smita Prakash interviewed Mr. Narendra Modi, from what I remember, during the election, and since you and she and many members of the fourth estate seem to be very much up in arms since last evening, I want to ask you a question, Smita. Have you ever asked the Prime Minister of India, why did he call you, Times Now and all the other channels of India and even other establishments as news traders? The Prime Minister of India has the least respect for the fourth estate, and please accept it. He treats you with contempt. You have no access to information today with this government there. You have a stealthy emergency in India. And when he humiliates you, when Nitin Gadkari goes during the Maharashtra election and talks about giving fat pay packets to journalists, why are you quiet, Smita Prakash? Why are you quiet? Why such a dubious silence?
Mr. Jha,
or are you agreeing with Mr. Modi that you are a news trader? Is a paid media allegation a reality? Are you accepting that?
Mr. Jha, I am... Mr. Jha, I am not a spokesperson for the Prime Minister of India. I am not a sponsor for the Prime Minister's office.
So you accept the fact that the Prime Minister ridicules the fourth estate? Can I just complete what I have to say?
Sure. I do not speak on behalf of any of them. I speak on behalf of the media, which was attacked. If you can see the visual, we were told delete this. On what basis does Mr. Vadra have the right to detain our cameraman and reporter?
You haven't answered my question. Has the media questioned the Prime Minister of India for calling them the news traders? Please answer the question. Don't dodge it. Why are you dodging it?
Can I just complete?
He believes that the fourth estate is a paid media. He believes the fourth estate is a paid media for sale.
You believe it? As usual, you just throw questions and never listen to responses. What I'm trying to say to you is that Mr. Modi, when he said that, was not Prime Minister of India. He was on a campaign and everybody asked him these questions and he did not.
Is that your defense?
Again, what the Congress finds, like Ms. Renuka Chaudhary found this entire thing very funny, and you people continue to laugh about the incident.
And Sanjay,
that happened.
you yourself
we
are sidestepping the simple question that I asked
yesterday.
you. Do you think this kind of behavior, not only attacking the reporter, calling him names, shoving his mic aside, but even illegally detaining him for a full 15 minutes, having some footage of his wiped out, you think that is acceptable? It's excusable?
Padmaja, did you see the humility and the grace and the civility with which he answered the first question on the gym that he went to inaugurate yesterday? Because that is what he was expecting the channel, or what he believed was an internal video photographer. And 1 minute, let me finish.
We are not asking questions which are expected out of us.
Let us not be sanctimonious and self-righteous here. Let us have a very transparent debate, ma'am. Are you willing to tell the people of India that the Press Trust of India exposed Mr. Narendra Modi as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, pushing a journalist who fell down on the ground when he was questioned on the Best Bakery probe being restarted by the Supreme Court? He was the Chief Minister of Gujarat, not a private citizen. Will you talk about it?
No,
Will you
it was in the papers.
That is the kind of attitude of Indian politicians today, like the BJP.
Why do you keep avoiding my simple question? It's a yes or no question, Sanjay Jha. Is it acceptable for a private individual to manhandle a reporter, illegally detain him and his video journalist, and make them take off their footage? Is it acceptable according to you?
Padmaja, my answer to your question is every answer has to be given in a context. Answers are not black and white. And I can tell you yesterday was a right to privacy and ask everybody in this country. I have a right, by the way. You can't come to my house and force a camera on my face and expect me to answer the question.
you think it's
I have a right to
acceptable-
privacy. I have a right to freedom of
behave like this?
expression.
Satyapal
Just
Jain.
like the
Nobody
media
thought-
has, I have a right to my freedom as a citizen of this country.
The action, Mr. Sanjay Jha, now please, Mr. Sanjay Jha, now. See the action and the body language of Mr. Vadra yesterday, which has been displayed by your channel just now, is highly condemnable. It attributes a highly arrogant attitude, and the defense being given by Mr. Sanjay Jha, to say the least, is equally shameless, if not more than that. I am surprised and shocked
Please
to hear
stop
him
the rhetoric.
saying that see the
Speak
humility
on
and
facts.
grace
Don't use
of
words
Mr.
like
Robert
shameless. They
Vadra.
apply to you
are
and
shouting,
your party and
Mr.
your
Sanjay
government.
Jha, please stop it now.
No,
Stop it,
don't
please
use,
stop now.
don't
Please,
use pedestrian
please
language.
Keep your mouth shut now.
Don't
Please.
use,
Don't
don't
intervene.
use
You are trying
pedestrian
to-
language.
You are trying
Don't
to
use
defend a
cheap
person
language.
who has insulted
Speak
the
in a
humility.
proper, dignified
A person
English.
who has insulted the
Speak
media.
in a proper,
You are giving
dignified
a shameless
English.
defense. I am again repeating
Okay,
the word.
sure. You want
are
facts?
giving a
You want
shameless
facts,
defense.
Sanjay Jha? I
Mr.
think
Robert
Smita
Vadra
Prakash
has
has all the
Please
facts.
let's talk about facts.
Yes, Smita.
I think you must tell this
Dignified
BJP
language.
person the elections are over. They have won the election. Please conduct with some dignity, please.
Can I?
wrongly
Yeah.
said,
He's
you wrongly
talking
said
about-
that Supreme Court has dismissed the charges against Mr. Vadra. Can you cite even a single court judgment where charges have been dismissed? Supreme
No,
Court
no,
only said-
we'll go.
I
Mr.
know the
Satyapal Jain,
gentleman from the
that's a
BJP
separate
is
debate
very
altogether, but we are
ill-informed.
keeping here to
He's
the
very
facts of the case of
ill-informed. He
yesterday.
sounds extremely
Smita
illiterate
Prakash,
at the
what
moment.
was this unprovoked aggression that your reporter allegedly
Padmaja-
displayed, which turned a humble, full of humility Mr. Vadra into what we eventually saw him do on camera?
Padmaja, I don't know why are you going around in circles.
Yeah, you know,
here?
I
Why are you
can't
going
for
around
the
in
life
circles?
of me understand why the Congress people are talking about non-dignified language. Who used the word idiot? Was my reporter using the word idiot? Was my reporter the one who shoved the mic down? Was my reporter the one with aggressive security guards around him? No, he wasn't. He asked a question. If Mr. Vadra did not want to answer, he just needed to move away and say no comments, which Mr. Jha has done in the past, which Ms. Renuka Chaudhary has done in the past. They all move away. And I mean, we've asked this from Murli Manohar Joshi, Sushma Swaraj, so many other people, so many politicians, you and I have done that. And they just move away and say no comments. Nobody has ever forced a reporter to delete. Padmaja, I want to bring one incident. You know, many years ago, there was an attempt on Rajiv Gandhi's life. And he was Prime Minister then. He was in Sri Lanka. There was an attempt on his life. Our cameraman shot that and got into the aircraft. And the Prime Minister's office said there was no attempt on his life. So our cameraman said, yes, there was. We have footage. And he said, no, it wasn't. You are lying. To which Mr. Rajiv Gandhi called the cameraman and said, show me the visuals. He saw the visuals and he said, we cannot deny this. And the Prime Minister's office said, let's take the tape away. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi said, no, you cannot take the tape away. No, you cannot deny that there was an attempt on my life. And we went ahead with the footage. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, as Prime Minister, did not try to take away or delete the footage. What right does Mr. Vadra have to do that?
Well, let Tehseen Poonawala, a very vocal supporter and defender of Robert Vadra, answer that. What gives him the right, if he's a private citizen, what gives him the right to have his bodyguards detain a camera person and force him to take off his footage? Tehseen?
Okay, so thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. I request all the panelists, give me 1 minute to speak without interrupting. The fact of the matter is, and Smita ji will agree with me, and I say this with absolute responsibility, not a microsecond of footage was deleted. Sanjay, please hear this out because this is important for us to break this myth. Not a single minute, not a microseconds of footage was deleted. So the fact that is being propagated, footage was deleted is untrue. Smita ji will bear testimony to this.
No,
Point
but
number
she's
2, it
saying
wasn't
that the
deleted.
reporter has
It was
said
not deleted. Nothing was deleted. I am telling this as a fact
Well,
out
when
here.
the agency
Check with Smita ji
itself-
if it was deleted or no. Then I'll come back to my next point.
Absolutely. Let's check it right now. Smita, was the footage deleted or not?
Yes, it was deleted. There were a
There you
few
have it.
clips in the camera, and when the reporter came, can I complete?
Absolutely. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So when the reporter was speaking to the security guard, the security person was then speaking to us, and he said, "Aap footage dikha dijiye." Meanwhile, the other security guards were telling the cameraman, "Delete kijiye, delete kijiye." So the cameraman, what he did was he pressed the delete button and he deleted one clip, which was of the coverage of the treadmill that Mr. Vadra was answering in the first question. Now the security guard saw the delete button being pressed, and now whether they released the
I need to come
cameraman
in.
because of what we spoke to the security guard saying you have no right, or whether they saw the delete button. We don't know why, but they let the cameraman and the reporter go. But
Yeah,
yes,
so
One second. No, this is one second.
Deleted.
That's precisely my point I'm trying to make. Now, let me make my point. What Smita ji said, the thing is Robert
Bring your
or the
camera-
security.
bring your
Please,
security guard
Smita ji,
if you
may I
want.
make my point? May I make my point? The fact is, neither did Robert nor did his security delete. This was a conversation between two individuals, two private individuals. Somebody said, I don't like a footage, please delete it. Delete it or no. No footage was deleted by any of those people.
So you're saying they didn't
Hold
press
on.
the button,
Nobody's
just
deleted
pressurize the
anything.
video
Hold on,
journalist
let
to
me
press the
finish. Let me
button.
make my point. Can I please make my point?
You are
Can I
giving
please
wrong
make-
information
Can-
on a national channel. Your
Can I please make
allegation
my
have
point?
been refuted by the journalist
Can
from
I
the
please make my
ANI. Why
point?
are you giving wrong information?
Can I please make my
don't make
point?
wrong facts.
Can
He
I
made
please
an
make my
attempt.
point?
He made
Can I
an
please make my
attempt.
point?
It has
Okay,
been
make your point.
clarified
What
by
is
the
your point?
correspondent. Don't mislead the nation. And I say you are equally guilty. You are equally guilty as Mr. Robert Vadra is. You are trying to give wrong facts which have been just now clarified by the colleague.
Can I please speak?
Why are you
No,
misleading
you can
the nation?
speak, Tehsil,
It
but the
seems-
fact
He's
of
not
the
letting me
matter
speak.
is
all
that
your Congress
since
leaders,
last night,
all
we've
Congress
seen half
people
the
have made
being
up their
put out.
mind.
No.
First
To
came the
tell lies
clarification
on the
from
TV
Robert
channel.
Vadra's office, which said
For
it
Robert
was a
Vadra,
private
you all are
function, the
One
media
second.
wasn't supposed to be there.
Padma,
That has
can I
been
please
proven
make
as
my point?
false. Now you're saying that no footage was deleted.
No, no footage
That has
was
been
deleted.
proven as false.
No, that's not.
Why these half-truths?
One second.
You gave wrong facts.
The fact of the matter is, Padmaja, and I'm repeating
Tehsil,
again.
did you? Are you speaking?
Smita ji, we had this conversation, we've been having this conversation, you and I.
Okay.
And you know and I know no footage was deleted. Now you can come here and say that footage was deleted.
So are you saying that ANI is
I am,
lying?
I am,
I'm
one
sorry,
second.
what are you talking
I am
about? You know
helpless
and
on
I know.
that. However, if you feel, Smita ji, some footage is deleted,
What
you
do
have
you know
the
and I
right
know?
to certain legal recourse. Let us prove that. I don't think you and I both know no
Yeah,
footage is
so
deleted. Let's go to the next point. The next point is I need just 30
Are you the one who
seconds.
has seen my camera? Are you the one who has spoken to my
So
cameraman?
it is your word versus nobody's word, and therefore your word will prevail. That's exactly what I'm coming to the ethics of journalism. Now
then
coming to the
ask
points
Mr.
you were
Vadra
raising.
if
Now
you- are you speaking on behalf
exactly.
of
It
Mr.
is one
Vadra?
word versus one second.
you're
One
talking
second.
about ethics of
One second. I am
journalism, for
Padmaja.
heaven's
Give me
sake.
30 seconds. I'm
Saying
Padmaja.
I'm nuts, you're an
Padmaja.
idiot.
Padmaja.
Since when is that ethical?
Padmaja. 30 seconds.
Mr. Vadra,
30 seconds.
You are trying
Mr.
to
Jain,
defend an action which is
can I have 30
irresponsible.
seconds? I won't be heard.
Where is the question
Fact-
of giving ethics
one
to the
second.
journalist?
One
Give
second.
these ethics to Mr. Vadra.
1 second.
Who misbehaved, who attacked, who deleted.
Look, either I speak or
Why
he
are you
speaks.
trying to mislead? Why are you trying to give
No, please let me make my
But
vote.
that's a relevant question. It's very convenient for
Correct,
you
so I'll
to
answer it if I'm allowed to
ethics of
answer.
the media.
On the national
Is it
media.
ethical
The
to
action
behave
of
the way
Mr.
that
Robert
Mr.
Vadra
No,
Vadra
1
did,
second.
to use the language that he did?
Both
How
of
can
you are
anyone
trying to
call a
justify
media
an act.
person
Padmaja.
doing his
Can't be
job an
justified.
idiot? Is that ethical?
Padmaja.
Somebody is calling
Padmaja,
idiot.
I want to make a point.
This
Once
all
again.
you reply
For
to
Sanjay,
my
just
question.
1 second.
If somebody
I would like
calls
to
the
be.
journalist idiot,
Look, if you're going to have a shouting match, and I'm not allowed to make my point, there's no point of having me
All
here.
right, fine. So Tehsil
There's
says
no
he has a
point of having me. I'm
Tehsil-
allowed to make my
Tehsil
point. I have
says he
2
has a
points to
point.
make.
Yes, go ahead.
I have
So-
2 points to make.
Okay, go ahead.
We started this debate where I came in saying very categorically no footage was deleted by Mr. Vadra or his security. We are all in agreement of that.
No,
the
we're not.
Padmaja, 1 minute.
You're the
Just-
only one who says
Padmaja,
that. No one
just
is in
1
agreement
minute.
with you.
I mean,
agreement. Where is the question of agreement?
1 second.
Don't give wrong facts.
I
Don't
would
give wrong
again.
facts.
Hold on. I want to make my point uninterrupted. I'm not interrupting anyone. I am saying nothing was deleted by these XYZ people. That point, Smita is agreeing. She's saying her reporter deleted. Now it is her word versus nobody's word. Now we come to the larger question. Was this a private function? Yes. Maybe the media was invited, maybe not. Smita may have an invitation, may not have an invitation. I'm not
has an
aware.
invitation.
Let me finish.
She has an
I'll
invitation.
take 30 seconds. Let me make my
Yeah.
point. The reporter goes up, says he wants to talk about fitness. When you are interviewing anybody, especially a private citizen, you tell
No,
what you
no,
want
he
to
did not
interview.
say that.
Do not change.
This is
now,
bizarre. He
now,
did not say
Smita,
that.
1 second. Smita, 30 seconds more, and I will give it. I will give it to
Why
you.
are you coming
If
to his defense?
if you
No,
are
you are
interviewing,
private citizen.
This is
please
absolutely.
please make
you
me
were
make
not,
my point. I am
There is
requesting you,
when
Smita
we
ji. Let
talk
me
of
make my
the
point.
wrong food,
Counter
there
me
is a
after I make my
private
point.
Very good.
No, Mr. Jain, please keep quiet. I understand empty vessels make the most noise. Please keep quiet. The fact of the matter is, you go to a private citizen.
You are making certain things.
Come on.
Which are
I want to make my point.
What are you
Listen,
talking
I want to make my.
about?
I want to make
You
my
have-
point.
I think
Now-
you have made. You've been given.
No, I have not
sufficient
been
amount
given
of time
because I'm
to make your
interrupted by
point.
Mr. Jain.
Smita wants to respond.
No,
Yes,
1
Smita,
second.
go
Just
ahead.
one last
this
point.
is enough, really. I mean, yeah.
No, you can be given any time. Make something which is sensible.
Yes, Smita Prakash,
Make
respond to
point
what he
which is
said.
sensible.
You decide.
Yeah. Padmaja, can I just come in? This is absolutely crazy to say that it was a private event and certain questions only are allowed to be
No,
asked.
I never
No,
said
this is
that.
not how it
I
functions.
never said that,
We
Smita ji.
had an invitation.
No, I never said that. I said your reporter went and said he's talking about
that
fitness.
only questions on fitness.
Huh? So then if you say one thing, you do another thing, then the ethics will be asked.
Certain questions.
1 second. You go and say, I want to talk about XYZ subject. No, Smita ji, 1 second. You say, I want to talk about ABC subject. You then jump to another subject which is unrelated. Point number 1. Point number 2, my question which Sanjay was asking you is this. Again, it is your word versus nobody's word. Second thing, Smita ji, second thing. Last point. Smita ji, no, I'm not. Last point, just 1 point and I'm going to keep quiet. When you interview anybody, people in public office, which Mr. Vadra is not, for example, the Prime Minister, you have a set pattern. Why don't you ask the Prime Minister why he does not talk about snooping? He does not answer Arnab on snooping. You all don't ask those questions. You all let public authorities run away, but you all harass private citizens who have a right to privacy. That is where ethics come in. That's all.
Okay, so Mr. Vadra has a right to privacy, but the journalist does not have the right to ask him any questions. So rights are very conveniently interpreted, are they?
Padmaja, I want to make one point to you.
No, wait. Sanjay Jha, I think Tehseen has taken up a lot of time.
Padmaja, I want to make one point on your channel. I want to make one point on your channel. Where was Smita Prakash and yourself and many other channels when one of your senior most editors, one of the most respectable journalists, who, by the way, happened to be the boss of Arnab some years ago, when Rajdeep Sardesai gets attacked by the frantic supporters of 1 minute of Mr. Modi in New York. Have you questioned Mr. Modi? Have you questioned Mr. Modi? What happens to media maintaining such a dubious silence? Why does the media maintain such a dubious silence on one of your own colleagues?
Why are you not confining to that?
Why are you not talking about that? I mean, that is a serious issue. And Mr. Jain, you have reduced the media today to a joke who have to take selfies with the Prime Minister. That is the sad tragedy of the Modi government. You are making the media take selfies with the Prime Minister. You have made it compliant. You have made it pliable. It's a shame. You have an emergency in India today.
Don't give defense to Mr. Vadra, whose action has been condemned by everybody.
Please let Smita Prakash
the whole world.
Smita.
Don't try to divert the attention. Yes.
I have no idea how they're talking about emergency in India. Was this state-imposed restrictions put on us? No.
Smita, you represent a responsible agency. Speak the truth.
I can't understand.
Speak the truth. Go on social media. The media is becoming a joke today. The media is becoming a joke today. The fourth estate is supposed to be a pillar of democracy. The media is becoming a joke. And you are making a mockery of it by making it into a paparazzi and justifying it today.
Offense to that. Mr.
You are
Jha,
justifying it today. It's a shame.
We're still going to ask you the questions despite you doing what you have done yesterday. Smita Prakash, you wanted to complete your point.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was that if Mr. Vadra is a private citizen, I can't for the life of me understand why the Congress is getting frothing in the mouth right now trying to defend what happened.
Because we get calls.
Is that if Mr.
We get hundreds of calls from the media.
No, can I just complete for heaven's sake?
No, listen to me.
Can I just
and Arnab Goswami comes on a channel and says Congress is not appearing in the discussion. That's why we come here. We don't like to be accused of shying or running away from a debate. We don't like that. There is an attempt by large sections of Indian media to come and say that the Congress tries to avoid an issue. We will take the bull by the horns, we will address it. And you better face the questions as well.
No, of course you don't shy away from a debate, but you just outshout anyone else who has a contrarian point of view. Anyone who has a relevant point of view, you just
But why aren't you letting Sanjay make his points?
That's what Tehseen and you have
why aren't you letting Sanjay make his points? Let Sanjay make his points. He's got relevant points.
Hartosh Singh Bal is also now joining us in the debate. GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP is also there. Tehseen and Sanjay Jha continue to remain with us. Hartosh, what does it say, the kind of language that Mr. Vadra used? Is this a sense of entitlement? Footage delete karao. Are you an idiot? You're going to ask me these questions. What do you think?
Absolutely. Arrogance. And at the end of it, the defense that was later released saying that he thought this was a private internal reporter. So you pick and choose the questions you want to answer. You claim you're a private citizen, but you will answer questions about gym machinery. Is he an Olympic medal winner in some sports? Is he done something that justifies the fact that he'll talk about gym machinery as a private citizen, but he will not answer questions about land deals? So the defense of being a
Ridiculous.
private citizen doesn't hold. If he's
I think what
answering
Hartosh
questions,
is
then he
saying-
can
May I
answer
make a
any
point?
question posed to him.
Haritosh, may I please answer your question?
Yes.
Very humbly, I'll take less than a minute. As for your question, is Robert an expert on gym? Yes, he's a fitness expert. He knows a lot about fitness. His knowledge exceeds far most people. Point number 2, on land deals, the answers. Those
he
answers,
also
Haritosh, just
knows a
30
lot
seconds.
about land deals.
Haritosh, just please,
No,
please, just 30 seconds. I will not interrupt you.
I haven't finished. You.
Please, I'll answer you, then you
because
finish.
I
Just 30
haven't yet
seconds.
finished.
30 seconds.
Let me finish before you
All right,
start
let him
interrupting and
finish.
claiming you didn't interrupt me.
All right, I'm sorry, please finish.
The
I'm sorry,
simple
please finish.
Since you said something, let me just clarify. He's at least as much of an expert in land deals as he's on gym machinery.
Right. Now I'll answer that question, Haritosh. Thank you for your question. The fact of the matter is Robert has answered on the land deals, not in 1, not in 2, but in 3 courts, including the Honorable Supreme Court. All those answers have been given by him in the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court has ruled on it. The Allahabad High Court and the Delhi High Court has ruled on it. So far as answering on fake allegations made, some in the media, mostly in the BJP, those have been answered by Mr. Vadra in the court, and the courts have upheld it. Thank you.
So you're saying, Tehseen, that we do not have the right to answer questions. You will decide
Padmaja,
which
I want to make a
forum to
point
answer
here.
questions on. And if sometimes we just, pop up and ask you inconvenient questions, you will just brush the mic aside, say you're an idiot, I'm not answerable to you. That's what you're saying. Is that the idea?
That is better than the Prime Minister putting sedition charges on Times of India journalists. That is better than the Prime Minister throwing away Karan Thapar's mic and walking away. And that is better than the Prime Minister of the country, when as Gujarat Chief Minister, getting an NDTV reporter down from the helicopter and making him go 200 kilometers.
All right, so we're going to have various levels
first question
at
the Prime Minister,
at which
who's a
misbehavior is
public
judged.
citizen, before interfering
Absolutely.
in private citizens' life.
I
Please let
agree
Sanjay
with
make
that.
his points.
All
I
right,
agree
all
with
right,
that.
wait.
And Padmaja, I want to raise a
Hartosh
point.
wants to respond.
No, I want to
Before I
raise
let
a
Sanjay
point.
Jha come in,
1
I think
minute.
Hartosh wants to respond.
No,
Yes,
1
Hartosh.
minute. Since Arnab Goswami yesterday I heard talked about an emergency, I want to ask a question of my dear friend Hartosh. Hartosh, tell me, since this is in the public domain, your former magazine that you worked for, why were you asked
Yes.
to leave it?
Sure.
Please put it down, because I know it, so please don't bluff. Why were you asked to leave it, Hartosh? What happened? Was it the change of government? Was it right-wing extremism? Can you tell us
Sanjay Jha,
openly? Because I know why it
making it
happened.
into a personal...
No, let Sanjay ask the question.
No.
Let Sanjay ask.
my
Arnab
question.
Goswami,
Okay, Hartosh,
yesterday I
answer
was
the
told,
question if you
mention the
want to.
emergency.
Answer the
I think the
question if you
people
want
of
to.
India have a right to know.
Yeah, let Sanjay ask
Padmaja,
his
you can't
questions.
interrupt me here. There is a
Look, hold on,
stealthy
hold on.
emergency. Let Hartosh answer the question. Why was he asked to leave the Open magazine? Why was Manu Joseph asked to leave? Why was Siddharth Varadarajan hounded? Let's hear the answers.
Let me answer the question, and let me tell you what I was told. I was told that a prominent political person wanted my removal. The second thing I know is that this is a magazine owned by somebody whose father was the Rajya Sabha MP from the Congress. The son was very close to the Congress. So if there are any answers about who that political person is, those answers should be available to the Congress, not to me. He hasn't told me. You know
I'm
Sanjeev
disappointed
Goenka, ask him
with
the
your
question, get
dodgy
the
answer, Hartosh.
You have been funded by Sanjeev Goenka.
The internet
Sanjeev
and the
Goenka is
public
your
knows something entirely
bosom friend.
different.
Sanjay, I have a feeling you don't
I'm
want to go
telling
down
you-
this path. It's going to get out far too
You
many
want a
skeletons out of
straight
the closet.
answer? I'm
Very
giving you a
uncomfortable
straight
secrets
answer.
will come out.
Exactly. Let me give him the answers. He asked something uncomfortable
Well,
about
you
the
haven't
Congress, I'm
denied.
telling
You haven't
I
denied
blame
the reports.
BJP equally.
You haven't denied the reports that talk about a change in government. You haven't talked about a report
Okay,
of
so
actually the
I
RSS
think
BJP
your
having an
your
influence.
question has been
You
conclusively
haven't
answered
denied
by
it.
Hartosh. Now, if you don't mind, Sanjay Jha and Tehseen, can we please come back to the topic?
Exactly.
Because I see what you're trying to do for the last 1.5 hours. You're trying to go to other
Absolutely.
issues. You're trying to embarrass us, but you're getting your answers. And if I may again steer the conversation back to the topic we're discussing, GVL Narasimha Rao, you wanted
If
to
I
come
can
in.
talk
The
about
Information and
Robert Vadra,
Broadcasting Ministry has said it's condemnable what happened. Why aren't you acting suo moto?
Okay, let me first say that Robert Vadra cannot claim to be a private citizen. I think whatever profile he has and whatever he has acquired over several years is entirely due to his familial connections with the Gandhi Nehru family. Robert Vadra in Moradabad was not a nationally known personality.
That's not true.
So today, whatever he's be it his land deals, be it his investments in other properties, be it his business interests, I think he is what he is only because he's connected to the Gandhi family.
And be it his sense of entitlement.
In an interview, in an interview,
that in
in an
large part
interview
also
to
has
the
got
Times
to
of
do
India, in an
with which
interview to the
family he
Times of
belongs to,
India.
Tehseen and Sanjay Jha.
No, one second, Padmaja.
You know,
let me finish.
Padmaja, I have to raise the larger issue. You cannot make yesterday's event the only topic of discussion. I think we have a lot more to contribute to the discussion. You cannot say when I raise bigger questions on the media that we're trying to avoid it. You have today the chairman of one of the largest media groups openly campaigning for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Haryana. How can you ignore that reality of a very prejudiced and biased media that plays its own game? I mean, these are questions of media ethics. If Hartosh Bar doesn't answer the question truly, or you tend to believe that I'm trying to skirt the issue, you're wrong. Can you deny that a prominent head of a big media group is openly campaigning for the BJP? Can we ignore that?
May I please come in? May I please make one point?
Go on,
I want to answer specifically what GVLG said. GVLG, give me 30 seconds. Specifically on the Vadra family, let me tell you this, and I'm telling you this with authority. They were one of the best known families, both in undivided India when they came from Pakistan. Even today, there exists a Vadra Haveli, and his family business is a very high-ended business. So let's not go down that route. You will be the loser. Most important point, GVLG, under your government, the Delhi High Court, just 30 seconds, was asked by a petitioner, ML Sharma, to have a CBI probe. He then told the Chief Justice of the Delhi High Court, I have already made the presentation to the CBI under your government of Modi ji and Rajnath Singh ji. CBI under you, High Court, the High Court Chief Justice and the Supreme Court found nothing wrong in the allegations you are making, GVLG. So please refrain from making speculative allegations. If you have sources for your allegations, give me the sources like I am giving you sources for mine. People have seen is not sources. Give me names. Give me names, sir.
How his income has soared.
How did you get a private citizen's balance sheet? Answer that question first.
Tehseen, let me come in for a minute.
Yeah, Sanjay is a chartered accountant.
Question for you,
This is
Mr.
very
Rao.
convenient.
Question for you, Mr. Rao. A transaction between two private individuals.
Exactly.
And incidentally, Hartosh, this is a private citizen who's
Let
being
Sanjay
defended.
speak. Let Sanjay make his point.
I'm making a point.
No, Sanjay is making a pertinent point. Please let Sanjay make a pertinent point. He knows something about finance.
Let me make a point. A transaction between two private entities is a national issue. But the government of Gujarat giving thousands of acres of land to a corporate done by the Chief Minister of the state is not an issue.
You will talk about everything.
The Chief Minister putting sedation charges is not an issue.
Everything except.
And I repeat my question, GVLG, tell me how did you get the balance sheet? Tell me how you got the balance sheet. Give me the proof of it. Give me the proof of the balance sheet. You have the balance sheet? No, it's all no. You have it.
Even the land deed.
How do you get a private citizen's balance sheet?
Yes, it's all in. It's all
Tehseen, if it's okay with you, can Hartosh Bal please speak?
Public domain, why don't you take that balance sheet and go to court? It's your government. Why have you not gone to court? Don't come on TV and fringe ignorance.
Rajasthan and Haryana are going to
Mr. Poonawala and Mr. Sanjay Jha, can you please allow Hartosh to speak?
If you have the legal process of
go and follow that process right in the beginning. You're going to go on and on about balance sheet.
Mr. Poonawala, civility is not part of your discourse.
Go and do what you like.
This is true of every political party.
You have a CBI.
Let somebody
Go and do
else
what you
speak
like.
in between.
Stop making personal allegations against either the
Gandhi all you want with
or
the BJP and the Congress.
Political ends.
Each of the charges, Sanjay Jha, that you are raising have been answered in the media time and again. The media has taken up every one of these questions. The media has examined every one of these questions. We have not shied away from looking at what work Adani is doing, where Reliance is involved, where Narendra Modi is involved. We've asked all those questions. And when we ask those questions, we expect answers of the BJP. Now we are asking questions of you about something specific. Don't at least to the media point about us to other deals. You can argue with the BJP all you want. But there are specific questions about profit making by a private citizen who's of the Gandhi family. He's not a private citizen. The CAG is saying he's made a windfall profit using government connections. He's threatened a reporter. Why don't you answer those allegations?
Okay, let me answer.
Counter allegations
let me answer.
Which we are capable of answering.
Okay, Hartosh, let me answer you very succinctly. Do you respect as a journalist the courts of India? Do you respect the courts? Have you read the Delhi High Court judgment? Have you read the Supreme Court judgment? No, let me finish. Let me finish, Hartosh. Give me a minute. None of these have been challenged by you. None of them have been challenged by the BJP. 1 minute. Have you read the Election Commission on the Code of Conduct? None of you have challenged it. I want to ask you a question, Hartosh. This came in the Economic Times, and I'm a banker. I also understand how financial transactions happen. Does it take the country 4 years to discover one private individual's financial transactions with another entity?
And the law. Does
where
Mr.
are
Vadra then not respect the law?
Just because as a party we don't sue people on defamation, just because we don't take you to court.
That's the second part. Let
come
Sanjay
back
make the important points. We'll come to your point. Sanjay, please, can you continue?
Can I please decide the scene? Can I please decide?
By the way, the media's job is to fight in the public interest. If you believe Mr. Vadra has done something wrong, you have a right to go to court. But the bigger public interest issue in this country is the way today, as you mentioned, Hartosh, why has the media not discussed 100 crore defamation on Prananjoy Roy Thakurta, one of India's best-known journalists on gas pricing, just because he was sued by a big industrial house?
Sanjay, you keep asking these questions,
big
but you don't let anyone answer those questions.
Media today.
A quick rebuttal from Hartosh before we head into a break. A quick rebuttal from Hartosh.
Okay, let's give up this Thompson twin ritual of both of you echoing each other and stopping everybody else from speaking. Don't behave like the BJP in the same way. Don't suppress criticism. Answer the questions you're asked. Don't throw allegations at people who are perfectly capable of answering them.
And I look very different. We're not Thompson twins. But only the BJP and you should not become Tweedledum and Tweedledee.
Your behavior is certainly in the same manner. Now let me come to the points you are raising about Robert Vadra. Questions of propriety do not get decided in the court. We are talking of 2000 riots as well. Court decisions have come, but we can question court decisions as well if we are not satisfied with the proper examination of evidence. In this case, there are windfall profits. The CAG is saying those things. It is apparent to everybody who examines this land deal the kind of advantage he's accrued from being close to the family. It doesn't matter what you cite. This is how we read the situation. It is incorrect. It is wrong. It is complete defiance of any closeness to the family. This is not how public morality is conducted. That's the question you have to answer.
Absolutely. And the point is very simple. We had the right to ask questions. Those questions were asked. If Mr. Robert Vadra, as a private citizen, does not want to answer them, he can just say no comments. Nothing gives him the right to manhandle the reporter or call him an idiot. Let's also introduce you to all our guests who are joining us on the continuous broadcast on our top focus story, Robert Vadra misbehaving with a news reporter simply because he asked him an inconvenient question about his land deals in Haryana. Hartosh Singhbal still with us, as is Sanjay Jha from the Congress, Navika Kumar, our political editor, GVL Narasimha Rao of the BJP, and also Mr. R. Rajgopalan. Asking you, Navika, it's quite ironic, this entire situation. On the one hand, the Congress says that Mr. Robert Vadra is a private citizen with no political connections. On the other, we had the Congress vociferously defending what many would call is the indefensible.
Absolutely. Under what definition is Robert Vadra a private citizen is a question I'd like to ask Sanjay Jha, really. Sanjay Jha, it's all very well for you to say he's a private citizen, his deals are his own, but the question really is, would he have been eligible for all these land deals if he hadn't been connected to the most powerful family of Indian politics? That's a question that even a child in a school can answer, Sanjay Jha. How can you push forth with this entire private citizen theory is something that completely baffles me. Did DLF actually give him all the benefits that they did because he was a private citizen, or because he was connected to the Gandhi family, the most powerful family in Indian politics over the last 10 years?
Well, Navika, it's a very childish statement, and I'll tell you why. So you believe that if anybody is related to any political or a business family, they don't have a right to have their own capability, expertise and efficiency. I think you're making I think your explanation is extremely childish, because anybody who knows how this government functions, how the politics in India functions, knows that connections matter, and it's only connections that matter. Well, let me tell you, since you represent a media that I come on very often on the instructions from my party, let me tell you, it's been 4 years since those allegations against Mr. Vadra have been on the public domain. And so far, not a single charge has been proven. You have a BJP government at the center, you have a BJP government in Haryana, you have a BJP government in Rajasthan. You, as the media, have absolutely no right to keep maligning an individual, especially when there are, at the moment, clear court verdicts. and there's an election commission that also challenged
Okay,
the Prime
Mr. Sanjay
Minister's
Jha, let me
blatant
come out with
allegation.
some facts on this entire issue. The CAG has said that there have been windfall gains of the tune of 44 crore that have accrued to Robert Vadra. That's a finding of the CAG, which is a constitutional body. We have on record the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley saying that windfall gains have been made and this entire issue is going to be investigated. These are facts of the case that have been put. Also, what we have is authorities, again constitutional authorities like a minister, finance minister, telling us that the entire issue of Vadra's case, the PIL that the Congress so often refers to, is not something that was dismissed on its merits. It was dismissed on other grounds. The merits of the case still haven't been gone through by the court. So all these three facts are also something that the Congress cannot forget.
Well, Navika, let me tell you, you know that last year, or rather this year during the campaign, Ravi Shankar Prasad of the BJP played a big video, which was nothing but an assimilation of old press cuttings. Where, since the BJP has an eminent lawyer like Mr. Jaitley, it can hire many people both within and outside the country.
So can the
They have
Congress.
every right to do so. But 1 minute,
So can
there's a
the
bigger
Congress.
question
You have
here.
lots of senior lawyers and advocates who have been protecting
I am taking a huge objection
Vadra.
on behalf of my party to the way the media is continuing to malign an individual without raising up bigger issues. Mr.
No,
Goswami
Hartosh,
keeps talking about
Hartosh,
emergency
how
using
can a
yesterday's
simple
incident.
question- the
Have you asked
question
him
of the
why,
AI
when a
reporter
journalist
was,
called Rana Ayub
sir, what
wrote
do
an
you have
article
to say
against
about
Amit
the
Shah,
land
why was
deals
it
being
downloaded and
investigated by
removed
the Haryana
from a
government?
particular newspaper?
Since when
Answer
is
that
that
question.
maligning a
Can you
person?
explain why a big
So
media
even a
group
question
continues
is now
to officially
maligning.
and openly
Don't even
campaign
ask
for the
questions.
BJP?
Is
There
that
are
how it
bigger
should be?
But
questions
does
that
it
you need
give
to
Robert
answer
Vadra the
from
right to actually push away a mic? A simple question that is asked today, the day and world, anybody who's connected, a question can be asked. The media can ask a question. What is so difficult about answering a question? Why do you have to shove the mic away? Isn't that called bullying by somebody who's powerful, who has his own security detail with him? Isn't that called bullying?
Well, Navika, I don't think you have seen the video properly. Have you
I
seen
have,
that when he was
Mr. Sanjay
asked
Jha.
a question on the reason why he was there, which was an inauguration of a gym, etc., he answered with ultimate and utmost decency. When you suddenly try and make that into a political capital by asking him a question which is irrelevant in a late Saturday evening, give an individual...
It's
some
not
respect.
irrelevant. It's for the media to decide what is relevant and what is not. The Congress party cannot decide what is relevant and what is irrelevant.
Since Times Now you is an expert in digging up history, why aren't you showing the people of Newshour and the people of India how a gentleman called Jignesh Parekh, I'm sure you have heard of him, a very good journalist, was thrown on the ground by a push from Narendra Modi as the chief minister when questioned on the best bakery case in 2004.
Mr. Sanjay
Please
Jha,
answer
two
the
wrongs
question.
do not make
And
a
why
right.
are you
This is
putting
not,
up on
I
your
mean, the
channel
media has its
Congress's
own right. We
defense?
reserve our own
You are
right
no
to
one
ask
to
the
judge.
BJP these
I'm
questions.
sorry, you
the
have to
question
be
is
a
now being
neutral-
asked of the Congress party. Please restrict yourself to answering
Navika,
on
we are
behalf
all
of the Congress
students.
party.
We
As
are all
far as the
students of
incident
media.
of Jignesh
Listen,
Parekh
we are all
is concerned,
students
we
of
ask the
media.
questions to the BJP
The job
then.
of a media in a democracy is to be neutral and
Navika,
dispassionate.
We are neutral.
1 minute. Why
We
are you
don't
having
need
a
your
slug?
certificate for that,
I can
Mr.
see
Sanjay
it right
Jha.
now on your channel. Why do you have a slug that says Congress's shameless defense? Who are you to judge that? Let the people judge it. Why are you using your television
People
channel
judge
to
it,
influence
sir.
people's opinion?
Sanjay
who
Jha,
are you
people
to
judge
judge?
it. They have removed you.
I request you to
They have
withdraw
removed
that
you from
right away.
Haryana.
It is
Sanjay
by
Jha,
the
they
way,
have washed you out of Haryana.
It is filthy.
You talk about this
it is
media, don't talk
pedestrian,
about media.
It is unethical journalism. Who are
Sanjay
you to
Jha,
say
don't
whether
talk
it
about
is-
media.
Who are you
People
to say
have
it is
rejected you in
shameless?
Haryana.
Excuse me, I don't know who is shouting there. Who
Rajagopalan.
are you to call it shameless?
Rajagopalan.
Your job is to be neutral. Please
What is
be
your job? What is your
dispassionate.
job?
Please be fair.
Mr. Sanjay
What
Jha,
is
we
your
don't
job,
need to
Sanjay Jha?
get
What is your
lessons.
job?
We don't need to get lessons on how to conduct our journalism.
No,
from the
you need to
Congress
take some
party,
feedback
Mr.
as well.
Sanjay
You
Jha.
have to
Question to
please
you is,
visit the social media to think what the world
about
thinks
the
of you.
conduct of Robert Vadra. The question to you is about the conduct of Robert Vadra. Questions were asked. If he didn't want to reply, there was always a no comments available. Why did he have to push the mic away? Why did he have to push the reporter? Why did he have to attack the reporter? Why did his security have to actually detain the reporter and the video journalist?
And
Why
delete
did he
the
have
portion.
to? Why
And
did
delete
he
the portion.
ask? Why did they ask to actually delete the portion? Is that strong arm tactics by the Congress party and Robert Vadra? Would you like like us to believe that a normal citizen can actually do all of this? If he didn't have the security detail, could he have detained a reporter and a camera person? Could he have actually ordered the deletion of certain clips from the video? Are you saying that we should buy this private citizen argument?
Well, you know, Navika, last night, let me give you my own example.
Navika,
I was in a theater and I was driving back after a late night film. I get multiple calls from TV channels. No one even has the decency to tell me, are you free? Can we talk on an issue? I get a call saying, you know what, there's something has happened. Can you please comment? You know, it's time the media began to respect individuals, whether in politics,
Don't
business
teach
or
the
private
media.
life.
Sanjay,
You have
don't
no
teach the
business
media.
to conduct
When
yourself
you
as
are
a
being
paparazzi.
You have been thrown out.
Stop being a paparazzi.
Do you
You have
take
been washed
permission
out.
from the media? Do you
Well-
take permission from the media to actually attack reporters? I mean, you expect the media to take permission from you? It's nice that the media actually calls up for your side of the story for a comment on the story.
Oh, it's nice.
That's our job.
Oh, thank you very
That's
much.
the way we conduct
so
our
Navika
job.
Kumar
we take
of
your
Times
comments.
Now believes that they're being very nice in taking my opinion or anybody
No, we
else's
are taking
opinion.
your side of the story
I mean, this
because
is
that's
the
the
arrogance,
professional thing to
Navika.
do.
Your statement is the arrogance of the media that is today
Navika
getting
is
It's
going
the
to take a different
professional
issue.
thing
You
to do,
cannot
so
be
we
so
do it.
arrogant.
Let us discuss
do
the
it.
point.
You cannot have so much
Sanjay
of
Jha, you come
hubris.
to the point.
You cannot
Sanjay Jha,
come
you
at 9
come to the
o'clock in the
point.
night and say this
Now
is
the
the kangaroo
Congress is
court
going to
that
have
will
an
decide
internal
the
family
future of
problem.
India. You
Okay,
cannot
wait.
do
With
it.
this,
The people will
I-
decide
come
it.
to the point of discussion.
I think Hartosh and GVL both want to come in at this point. Yes, Hartosh, you first.
Look, quite clearly, the point is that Sanjay Jha is trying to divert attention. There may be 100 other problems with the media. Each of them can be taken up. Right now, the question is very
But they
simple.
never get taken up,
It is-
Hartosh.
The question,
When is the media
Sanjay
discussing
Jha?
paid media, man?
Sanjay Jha,
Sure.
will you let me
Sure,
speak?
sure.
Don't tell me that I don't discuss the media. You want me to name names, I'll name names. The problem that occurs in the media today, since you're making so much of an issue, is that Narendra Modi has refined what you guys taught him to do. You guys subverted the media. Modi has taken it to a new level. Let's keep it aside. The problem started with you guys and what happened to media and access and how you manipulated media, including funding issues. So let's not beat around the bush. The second point I'm making is that all these issues do not give the right to Robert Vadra to pick and choose. If he doesn't want to deal with the media, let him not deal with the media. If you think that these are unsubstantial allegations, go to a civil court, file a defamation, challenge the CAG. Say
And
these are
Hartosh, that
unsubstantiated.
also all
We are
reeks of
claiming
the
these are
sense of entitlement, because
windfall
here is a
profits.
person who, despite being a private
Exactly.
citizen,
But the
enjoys
same
that
argument
kind of
applies to
security,
you.
that kind of clout, that he knows he can get away with it, which is why he's doing it, which is why he's using
Absolutely.
that language, which is what explains those actions.
And also,
Padma Jha.
Sanjay Jha, one minor point,
Yeah, go ahead.
point, was Robert Vadra inaugurating whatever he was inaugurating because he's a private citizen? Of course not. He gets invited
Exactly.
because he's connected to the most powerful political family of India. That's the reason he gets invited to these functions. So what's all this about private space?
Now, Navika, now this is becoming a bit atrocious and absurd. Now, if you're going to ask me, I cannot answer on your TV channel why Mr. Vadra gets invited to a restaurant. Why does he go abroad on an invitation? I have absolutely nothing to do with what Mr. Vadra's private life is. We are talking here on an issue where you are today reaching a level so pedestrian that you're saying he's got an invitation because he's related to the family of the Gandhis. I mean, do you even have any respect for an individual today? This is the arrogance and the hubris of the media that I hope everybody who's watching your channel sees how the Indian media has become so arrogant
Robert Vadra
and so
shoves
brazen
aside
in
a
it
reporter,
that it is
attacks a
mocking an
reporter, who's
individual,
being
giving
arrogant?
them no
Is it the
respect,
media that's
and
being
is actually
arrogant,
saying-
or is it Robert Vadra who's being arrogant?
1
Hartosh?
minute. Are you going to today
That's
take
precisely
credit
the
from
point.
me and say it's because of my father or because
Look,
of my
the very
wife
fact
or
is
because of my
today-
grandfather?
Today I
think
want
it's
to
ridiculous.
go
Can we change
and
the
ask
quality here?
DLF for a similar treatment on buying land in Haryana. I will not get that treatment. Robert Vadra gets certain treatment. We have to ask the question why he gets preferential treatment. The reason somebody invites him for a gym is because he has a certain celebrity status. Why does he have that certain celebrity status?
So, Hartosh,
He's
you
married
want
into
to
the
fire
Gandhis.
PIL
Why does
that
he
why
get
Mr.
benefit?
Vadra has
Let
got
me
a gym
finish.
invitation?
Let me finish. Why does he get an exceptional deal from DLF?
No,
I don't get that deal. Navika, you can try going there and trying to arrange a similar deal. You won't get a similar deal. Question is, where does that benefit come from? It comes from his proximity to the Gandhis.
Well, that is your
cannot claim
assumption.
he's a private citizen
That
while
is
he's
your
making
assumption
42
that
crores.
media has got no right to make assumptions.
Exactly.
There is the law of the land, and so far the law has contradicted all the allegations made by the media and the
entirely on the
BJP.
Congress
law has
party
not
side.
contradicted
The
it.
Sorry,
arrogance is
Navika,
entirely
you
on
can-
Robert Vadra's side. Why are you calling the media arrogant? The media is only doing its professional duty by asking questions that they need to. Robert Vadra has come face to face with a journalist, with a reporter for the first time since this entire controversy is on. After questions on the gym, he's asked a normal question on the land deals. It's the most normal professional duty of a journalist to do. The arrogance is on part of Robert Vadra to even ask questions like, are you nuts? I mean, is that the way you speak to media people when you're being asked a question? Who's being arrogant here, Sanjay Jha?
And the strange
Well,
thing
you know,
is that when
Navika,
Robert
I
Vadra
wish
does
you
it, he's
discussed
doing
with
it
the
because he's
same passion with
retaliating
which
as
you
a
are
private
talking
citizen
now
whose
when the
privacy
current Prime
has been
Minister
infringed
called
upon.
you,
When the media
your
does
channel
it,
and
it
everybody in the
only
media
betrays its
fraternity.
hubris. Digvijay Singh of the Congress, Navika, where he says, I'm amazed at the media attention given to a minor incident involving Robert Vadra. Why a private citizen, and that term appears again, being unnecessarily hounded?
Well, that's probably the only explanation the Congress party has, calling Robert Vadra a private citizen, but that's certainly not something that's washing down with the public. Why is Robert Vadra a private citizen? Does he not enjoy the clout and the security detail that comes with it because he's connected to a powerful political family? These are questions that the Congress party as well as Robert Vadra will need to answer. But the only question that I have for Mr. Sanjay Jha, a question is being asked by a journalist. It's the moral duty of the journalist to ask questions, and that's the only job that the journalist was doing. Does it actually befit Robert Vadra, the private citizen with huge political connections, to actually assault the reporter who's asking the question and even have his security guards force deletion of the video clip of that? Now, which private citizen can force that? Just a small explanation of just this much will resolve many questions that the media today has to ask the Congress party for.
Well, Navika, in very simple terms, I'll repeat it again. If you read that the first time when the question was asked of Mr. Vadra, it was for the event for which he was present last evening. Why don't you play that again? Play that tape again. He answers that question with humility, with the kind of appropriateness with which it had to be responded to. Now, he has every right as a citizen. You have it, I have it, Arnab Goswami have it, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has it. We all may be public figures, we may have different roles, but you cannot, for example, send somebody with a microphone to my house at 1 o'clock in the night and say, kindly respond to it.
I'm sorry, there is a difference. This was a public place where he was attending a inauguration, where he was asked questions. He answered the questions that were convenient to him. The minute an inconvenient question is asked, he gets into a scuffle. Now, that's not what I call normal behavior. But since you said that, why don't we play out that clip and see what questions he asked? Let's play out that clip. Please satisfy yourself, Mr. Sanjay Jha. He answers the innocuous questions, but the minute a specific question on his land deals, which we as the media are well within our rights to ask, he gets into a scuffle. Let's listen in. Let's listen in, Sanjay Jha, and I'll come back to you.
You can't be a paparazzi.
Sir, how would you comment on Haryana government searching to, investigate all the land dealing?
I mean, are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
That's the question that he's asking the reporter before he actually shoves that mic away and attacks the reporter. Are you serious? Of course we are serious. We are asking you a question. How can you be so arrogant to behave in that manner? Arrogance is the question that the media wants to ask. You are being arrogant. You're saying, are you nuts? Are you serious? How can you ask me such a question? Then you shove the mic away. Then you get your security to make forcibly deletion of video clips. I mean, is that not arrogant behavior?
Well, Navika, I think you have exposed, I hope it's inadvertent and not deliberate, what you have shown on your channel. What did I ask you to show? I asked you to show the question which is asked, which is answered in full, and look at the expression, look at the choice of words, and look at the honesty with which he's answered it. You have not done that. In fact, you have taken a clip, melodramatized it here, and you are again trying to mislead the audience. This is not a good moment for you, Navika.
Okay, we will
Times now is trying to be you're distorting.
Okay, Mr. Sanjay Jha, since you raised that issue, we'll play the full clip.
Yes,
we'll play the full clip once again. Satisfy yourself.
This is
the audience has made up their mind in Haryana, but for your satisfaction, we'll play that full clip.
Well, I think this was twisted and not appropriate and ethical.
Nothing is twisted.
Not twisted at all.
A real-time video
Sanjay
does
Jha,
not
it is not
lie.
at all twisted. It is not twisted.
Play it again,
It is
Navika.
Robert
Let's
Vadra
see
who is
from the
twisting
beginning.
this.
Let's
It
see
is
from
you
the
who
beginning.
is twisting.
No, okay, let's play that full clip.
Would you like to comment on this last intervention?
Where health is concerned, I'm always promoting it for my friends, and they have the best machines today, and it's a very promising place, and health is everything, so I would definitely recommend for most people to be here and partake and understand the machines. They're internationally recognized, and it's very good if you run, or it has less effect on your muscles, in your bones and everything. So it's overall, it's definitely a new promising place. I don't think we see these machines anywhere else in Delhi.
Sir, how would you comment on Haryana government threatening to, investigate all the land dealings?
Are you serious? Are you serious? Are you serious?
Mr. Sanjay Jha, we played out the entire clip. The audience, of course, will make up their minds, but the entire clip actually shows that when you are asked on gyms and muscles and all of that, Mr. Robert Vadra, very happy to answer those questions. The minute a specific question on land deals is asked, he says, are you serious? Is that not reeking of arrogance? I ask you very, very mildly that question. Isn't that arrogance?
Well, Navika, thanks for replaying the tape. I think let the viewers of NewsR and let the viewers all over India decide what they believe was the correct thing that happened yesterday or the incorrect thing that happened yesterday. But there's a big point, Navika. You kept raising the question as to how Mr. Vadra gets his invitations. If you read his language, he said, when my friends call me, I do go. So, the way the media is on its inquisition and a witch hunt of Mr. Vadra needs to stop. And for all the allegations made against him by the BJP and by certain sections of the media, I would say, please respect the law of the land. We have courts, and let not the media behave like a paparazzi, go to a private event and suddenly raise a question.
I'm sorry. Once again, let me set the record straight, Mr. Sanjay Jha. The ANI was invited to that event. ANI was present on an invitation. This is not the paparazzi. They were there by their own right, and they actually had been invited to that event, and they have every right to ask that question. We'll come back to you for a response to that, but right now we're slipping into a short break. But the reporter was there through an invitation.
So is Robert Vadra going to be allowed to get away with the kind of behavior that was on display on Saturday night only because he is related to a powerful, politically connected family of the country? Sanjay Jha of the Congress still with us from Mumbai, R. Rajgopalan also in our studio, also our political editor Navika Kumar. Mr. Rajgopalan, is this how now it's going to be? That if you go to an event, you ask these PR type questions and they will be answered the moment you ask some tough, inconvenient questions, suddenly you're accused of being paparazzi, of being on a witch hunt.
Whatever Vadra, wherever he goes, whatever he does, the land deal will be the back of any media news person, whether he's in India or in Chennai or in Tamil Nadu or in North India, wherever he is. But on the other point, as a media person, the ANI correspondent put two questions. Before answering to that question, Mr. Robert Vadra agreed to give interview. So having given interview to ANI, Obviously, Mr. Vadra would expect that the land deal question would definitely come to the reporter's mind. Therefore, he put the question very mildly. But Robert Vadra should not go off the mark and push the camera out like that.
And Mr. Jha,
and apart
Mr.
from
Vadra
that,
cannot
apart
decide
from that,
what kind of questions
apart
are
from
going to
that,
be
as a
asked.
media
He's public
person, I
figure.
say,
he's in a public place. A reporter will ask him the question. As long as he asks it in a civil fashion, he has got no right to retaliate the way he did. How can you defend that?
Well, Padmaja, you know, we are all experienced. We have seen a lot of events. We run organizations. I've worked for companies where we have done press events. But there's an event, you know, if you're doing a joint venture launch, you don't suddenly have people asking you questions on what your financial results are going to be or why you are...
I'm sorry, this is about Robert Vadra. You call him a private citizen. You call him a private citizen. The media doesn't think he is a private citizen. He is connected to the most influential and powerful political family, Mr. Sanjay Jha. The simple question is, he answered the question on the gym, on the exercise machines.
Very politely.
A question was asked. Till that time, you didn't question whether ANI was there because they were invited or not, or suddenly when the question went to the land deal, the reporters become paparazzi. Number one. Number two, is a simple apology so much to expect for this kind of arrogant behavior? The fact that you actually assault a reporter who's asking the question, the fact that your security personnel actually ask for deletion of a video clip, is that normal behavior of a private citizen?
Well, you know, Navika, frankly speaking, if you read his reactions, and they are spontaneous, they are absolutely reflexive.
The arrogance comes spontaneously.
Can I speak? He says, "Are you serious?" 5 times. That goes to tell you that he's stunned by the fact that for a purpose for which the particular interview was to be held, it was deliberately deviated upon. And that's the reason why today you are having this debate. I want to ask you a question.
Sorry, Mr. Sanjay Jha, it's basic journalism. It's basic journalism. When we go to interview the finance minister, we don't only ask questions on growth and current account deficit. We ask him questions on anything. Similarly, if there is Robert Vadra in front of us, we can ask him questions on anything. He's a public person.
Well, Navika, you know, 1 minute. He's a public person because
Sanjay Jha, don't defend Robert Vadra in future. Enough.
You can't decide. You cannot defend him. That I want to ask.
Sanjay Jha, you cannot defend him.
Mr. Rajagopalan,
you cannot interfere.
Mr. Rajagopalan,
you cannot defend him.
Because
you know he is not defendable.
Why doesn't the
I'm telling you, he cannot push the mic like that.
Why doesn't the Indian media, because wherever Mr. Modi or Mr. Amit Shah go, why doesn't the Indian media
talk about Robert Vadra? Talk about Robert Vadra.
Ask them about fake encounters.
Why you are protecting Robert Vadra? You tell me that.
The Gujarat massacre. Why doesn't the Indian media ask questions of Mr. Modi and Amit Shah on Gujarat massacre, on fake encounters in Snoopgate? Those are public
Mr. Sanjay Jha, what gives you the impression that the media hasn't asked those questions?
They don't.
I mean, there have been full interviews on these issues that have been conducted.
They are public individuals.
But the BJP is not the issue today. The media has a completely clear conscience of the fact that we have asked these questions of these individuals when the questions were to be asked. But when we are in front of Robert Vadra, we have to ask the question of Robert Vadra. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah have been asked those questions.
They are not.
The media has asked them whenever there are opportunities.
Have you held a single debate on why a man who's out on bail gets Z plus security? He's out on bail on a triple murder accused. Has there been a single debate in the studio on that?
Mr. Sanjay Jha, that's the issue which the Congress party is well within its rights to question even in courts. The question today is about Robert Vadra. Can we come back to the point?
Are public individuals. Mr. Robert Vadra is not. And I think the media is on a witch hunt. The media is hounding him. The media is not allowing the legal process to go on. The media wants to prejudge the case.
So he will ask his security personnel to delete video clips?
The media is being
judgmental. Does that give him a right to ask media people to delete video clips from a function? Is that what you're saying?
Well, Navika,
is that the right that he has?
The very fact that you are doing this debate with me on a Sunday morning, the very fact that Arnab Goswami was at 11:30 in the night on a Saturday evening on a radio chat with Renuka Chaudhary ji tells you that there is a hounding incident on. I don't need to give further
Whenever
proof of
the media's rights are impinged upon, we have the right to ask the question and raise our voice.
And I have a right to tell you.
I have a right to tell you that you are prejudiced. We don't have security personnel with us. We only have a mic or a pen with us. We don't have security personnel who are deployed around us. The video journalist and the reporter are well within their rights to ask questions. That's the only weapon we have. That's the only professional thing that we are expected to do. Why can you question that today?
Well, Navika, I'll repeat it one more time. I don't need to make a bigger comment on it. Yesterday, Mr. Vadra's office has issued a clarification.
So do you think an apology is in order?
I want to let you know that this incident opens up a bigger debate for you. It's not just about Radia tapes and the paid media debate, but the media needs to look at his own.
You come to the point, Sanjay Jha, you come to the point.
Is there,
you come to the point, don't go elsewhere.
Is there
an apology? Don't talk about other issues. Don't talk about other issues.
Oh, really?
You talk about Mr. behavior of Mr. Vadra.
Mr.
Can you push that mic like that?
Mr.
You tell me that, Sanjay Jha, you asked that question.
In this country
you don't talk about other things.
Mr. Sanjay
you come to this point.
Simple small question, is an apology in order? Is an apology in order? Should Robert Vadra have actually assaulted a reporter, removed the mic and actually asked for deletion of a video clip? Is an apology in order?
Well, let me tell you one thing, Navika. Yesterday,
yes or no? Yes or no? You say that.
Yesterday,
yes or no? Yes.
Very simple question.
Yes, Sanjay Jha said yes.
Of a
Sanjay Jha said yes. He should apologize.
Trying to
Congress will
exploit
distance from you. You will be Shashi Tharoor
making
too.
an allegation on an individual that is totally unfounded and dismissed by the courts. There is a law of the land. Can the media kindly respect it? And if you have to ask questions of anybody, please ask them every day of Mr. Modi because he's the Prime Minister.
But Sanjay,
what is that you're talking? Sanjay, what are you talking?
Anybody else in public life. You can't hound individuals like this.
Mr. Vadra, how has the law of the land been disrespected if a reporter walks up to Mr. Vadra and says, what do you have to say about the BJP government investigating your land deals in Haryana? What law? Can you please quote?
Padmaja, what am I referring to? I'm saying that today you have a central government of the BJP, you have a Haryana government of the BJP, you have a Rajasthan government of the BJP, you have three verdicts from the courts that have said the allegations are false, you have a BJP law minister. Please ask them to take appropriate action.
Yes, we've asked them, Mr. Sanjay Jha. Just for your information, we've asked them, and just 2 weeks ago, the finance minister said, yes, there is a prima facie case which should be investigated against Robert Vadra. These are quote-unquote the words of the finance minister. We'll come back to you and ask you questions on if the finance minister has stated there is a prima facie case for investigation. Why is the media not within its right to ask questions of Mr. Robert Vadra? Sanjay Jha, the question the BJP is saying is, why shoot the messenger? It's a simple question. If the journalist is asking a question, you always have within your right to say no comments or I don't want to answer it. Why should you actually be arrogant enough to actually assault a reporter or even ask a security personnel to delete the clip? Simple question.
Well, Navika, a very simple answer. I'm just going to read to you what are there written in court verdicts. That all the allegations against him so far have been deemed as frivolous, flippant and an attempt to destroy somebody's reputation.
The courts haven't gone into the merits of the case, Mr. Sanjay Jha.
Well, that's exactly the point. So if anybody believes there is more substantive argument against Mr. Vadra and anybody else he's had a financial transaction with, they should go to the court. They should file an FIR. They should have a charge sheet. That's exactly the point the Congress party is repeatedly making, Navika. I think we have a right to do it. And you must respect this. We are saying that if anybody, our political opponents, somebody from the public, somebody from the corporate world, if they believe that Mr. Vadra has done something wrong, please go to the appropriate authorities.
So he could have said that.
And maligning an individual, forcing a microphone into somebody's face when he least expects it.
No, he agreed to give interview. He agreed to give an interview.
It's unethical.
There is no forcing.
It is not.
There is no forcing.
Integrity.
Mr. Sanjay Jha, number one, the ANI reporter was there on an invitation. Number two, he asked other questions first, but he's well within his rights to actually ask the question on the land deals. If the question on the land deals was asked and Mr. Vadra did not want to answer them, he could have easily said so. What gives him the right to actually physically assault, detain and force deletion of video clippings? Again, the same point. This is the only basic issue that the media has to ask from Mr. Robert Vadra and the Congress party. Now, having done this, having shown this arrogance, is an apology due or not?
Well, let me tell you something. You are making a lot of assumptions here. I'm not privy to exactly the entire transcript of what
No, you saw
There
that.
is a statement
You asked
from
us to
the
rerun it.
There is a statement from the ANI editor saying that they had an invite for this entire event that was held. The ANI was there on invitation.
Well, let me tell you, I have had ANI attend some of the events when, we have had corporate launches, and they come and ask the exact question that they are actually, which is related to an event. For example, ANI, when it calls me today for a soundbite,
you want to decide what questions the media asks?
1 minute, ANI
you want to write the script for every question the media asks?
Can I share this with you? Can I, Navika, please give me 30 seconds to share this with you? When the ANI asks a Congress, or I'm sure any other spokesperson, they tell them what they're going to ask them. They tell them exactly what is expected of them.
So surprise questions are not allowed, Mr. Sanjay Jha. Surprise questions are not allowed at all. Under which rule, under
how
which
the
law?
ANI is changing track.
Under which law, under which rule, and under which school of journalism and professionalism is the fact that you are saying that surprise questions or questions other than those in the media event cannot be asked? Which rule says so?
Well, let me tell you something. This is the way ANI has operated when we have functioned as spokespeople.
Robert Vadra thought
that
is still in power. That is why he gave that answer.
If that gentleman does not interrupt,
Mr. Sanjay Jha, Robert Vadra should
gentleman does not interrupt, please. All I'm saying is
what
Mr.
is that?
Vadra
Why you
has
are
said
repeatedly
on
saying the
your
same
channel,
thing?
On a transcript, you can hear him very audibly and clearly. He says
we heard it.
To inaugurate an event of a friend, which happened to be a gym. Where is the question of anybody asking him something extraneous and totally irrelevant? I mean, this is the point that I'm trying to make.
Let's not
encourage
this is the relevant question.
In which
this is the relevant question.
Decided that these questions are irrelevant.
That is the relevant question.
The viewers will decide, because it's a simple statement, simple question that we ask, that if Robert Vadra is a private citizen, then why is he carrying a security detail that forces reporters to actually delete video clips? Why does he actually shove reporters aside and shove mics aside? Questions that the Congress party and Mr. Vadra will need to answer. And why should this not be an issue on which an apology is due? Let viewers be the choice.